particularly Konate, Tsimikas and Bradley? How are they? Are they ready yet, or is it more the weekend or a bit longer?
Kostas is coming close. He's going to train with us today, maybe for the first time. So let's see how that works out. Ibu and Connor are still not training with us.
You yourself have got to serve a touchline ban for this game against Southampton. How do you feel about having to serve that, and how will it impact you throughout the game?
Not as much as I thought. It should impact me because if you are suspended in Holland, then you're not allowed to be in and around the dressing room. You cannot do the media as well. So this is a lighter version of suspension. I would say that I'm used to, but I've never been used to being suspended. So it's the first time I am. I think I'm still able to do the things I want to do. The moment you have, the less impact you have on your team is during the 45 minutes, and the most impact you can have is at halftime before the game. And those are the things I can do. But in an ideal situation, I would have just been on the sideline. But I got a yellow, which I probably deserved again as well. And it happens.
Do you think you deserved all of them, or are you a little bit surprised to be?
No. One of the three I didn't deserve, but I told what I said back then, which was for Tony. Okay, that's a word we don't use that much over here. But that was meant to one of my players, so that one was a misunderstanding. But the one I got against Chelsea was absolutely deserved. This game I could have got 5 maybe. So to come out with 1 was maybe even I have to thank the referee for that.
But what do you expect from Southampton, given obviously they've changed their manager, or they're about to change their manager, but they have taken Russell Martin out of there now?
Yeah, which is in my opinion a pity, and maybe it's a good moment when we talk about referee decisions and how to react on that, and the manager being sacked. I feel really, really sorry for Gary O'Neill. He's done so well, in my opinion, if you look at how his team is playing, and he was so unlucky in multiple occasions, especially against West Ham, in my opinion. So these things happen, and Russell Martin has done so well last season at Southampton. Plays this season again a good football. We've experienced this when we had such a tough day over there. We only beat them 3-2. So you always feel sorry if managers don't get the chance to continue, and especially in these two situations, because for me they are managers that had a good idea of how they wanted to play with the team, and unfortunately they weren't able to get enough points, and then managers get sacked.
Do you wonder what to expect? Whether they
Sorry, that was your question. I didn't answer it at all. I have. It's difficult because I saw them during the weekend starting with 4 at the back, which they changed after 15 minutes, going to 5 at the back, and the one that takes over normally plays with 4 at the back. So what can you expect? What would you expect, 4 or 5?
I'm going 4, to be fair. But throw it all up in the air at the minute.
I think the players maybe feel more comfortable with 5 from what I saw during the weekend. But yeah, it's also a moment for the manager to have his impact, and maybe if he truly believes 4 is the best, then and depends maybe also how long time is he going to get. Is he only there for 1 game, or is he there for longer? Will he play with his normal starters if he only has 1 chance or a few chances to lead the team? Will he then do what's best for the Premier League, or for him as a chance to maybe reach the semi-final of the League Cup? So it's difficult what we can expect in terms of formation, in terms of personnel. But what we do know is that we have to play an away game against Southampton, against 11 players.
Thank you.
Julie?
Morning. I just want to check right now where you are as a side. Is this where you anticipated to be in a quarter-final, still fighting on all fronts when you came into this job?
To a certain extent, yes, because I think that is normal for Liverpool to be fighting for every trophy and to be for a long time in every cup, to go all the way. This happened last season when when this club won this competition. So I'm not surprised that with the quality we have, we are competing at this moment for these 3 trophies, and the 4th one is starting in January. But it is a challenge because we have a lot of competition, great competition in other teams here as well, and also in the League Cup. If you look at the other teams that are still in, it's for none of the teams that are in is going to be an easy road to the final.
And Diogo Jota has returned to the squad. Is this a good time for him with all these games and this particular match coming up to get more match fitness?
That is for me the positive thing also about the League Cup, because like you've seen, I think till now we haven't played with many starters yet. So it's mostly been a game where the ones that haven't played that much started the game, and that's really important. So for the likes of Vata, Endo, for example, he hasn't played that much, but fortunately for us, he plays for his national team, and the few times he can play in the League Cup helps him to keep his rhythm as well. So Diogo would have been definitely one that was ideal for him to play, but after the game he wasn't completely fit, so he didn't train with us yesterday. So let's see if he can train with us today. So don't expect him to start. Hopefully he can make some minutes, but I don't expect him to start tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hi Arne, it's been notable in all the games that Liverpool haven't been winning towards the end that you've been willing with your tactics and your substitutions to maybe sacrifice a defeat in the pursuit of a win. Even in situations where maybe a draw would be creditable, like away at Arsenal or down to 10 men for 70 minutes, for example. Has this always been your philosophy, or have you maybe been influenced by the group who've been so good at winning games late on?
It is a combination of both. It's always been my philosophy since I've been a manager to try to win the game in the end. But it's definitely also that our players have this same mentality long before I came here. So it's probably also the mentality of the club, it's the mentality of the players. Maybe that's also one of the reasons why they brought me in, because it's also my mentality to try to win every game, even if we're in a situation like you said where you can accept a draw as well. But it's the mentality we have together, and that's why we are at this moment of time happy with each other.
I know you said Diogo might not be fit enough to start, but how's Federico doing? Is this a game where you could potentially start him, or does he still need to be managed a bit carefully?
It's definitely a moment where he can get minutes, and the amount of minutes is a question mark. You cannot expect from him to play 90, I think, especially not on this level, where the intensity is so high. Because he's been out for 5 or 6 months now. But he will, if he has a good training session, he will make minutes. But it's going to be a game where not all our starters will start. So we have to manage minutes. If we want to use a few starters, not for 90 minutes, so we have to balance. I can only make 5 substitutions, if you know what I mean. So the ones that make minutes and go off maybe at half time can be more than 5 because you can only make 5 substitutions. So he will make minutes, Federico, tomorrow. If he starts or comes in or plays the second half, that's something we have to make a decision about during this day.
It's obviously been a massive boost having Alisson back for the past couple of games, but this competition in the past has been massive for Kluivert and Kelleher. Can we expect him to come back in tomorrow?
Yes, you can.
And you've spoken a lot about in the past about his quality, but just in terms of his character and his temperament as a number 2, it's one of the most difficult jobs in football really. But can you just tell us a little bit about him and how he's dealt with sort of dropping back out of the team?
Yes, I agree with you. It's one of the most difficult jobs in football if the first goalkeeper is always available, because then you work for the whole season and you hardly ever have the chance to play because you normally don't come in 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the end. He's unfortunately for us, but good for him. He's already made quite a lot of minutes. So I think if we make a list of players of the amount of minutes, there will be players that have far less playing time than him. So I think he can look back at the first half season as for himself as a positive first half of the season. We as a club, of course, hope that all players are available in the second half of the season, so he will not make the amount of minutes as he did in the first half. But we are really fortunate to have such a great second goalkeeper that if we need him, he's able to do as well as he did.
Could you talk a little bit about your backroom staff, because they'll be maybe a bit more in the spotlight tomorrow, with you being suspended. You relate how long you've how much sort of delegation you give to them, how important they are to you, your long-standing relationships with Sipka.
Yeah. Sipka I've worked with for a long time, so we know each other in and out, especially football-wise. One of the reasons why we work together, because we have so much in common. If it's about the playing style or a game model or the changes we make during the game. And John Heitinga is now here with me for the first half season, and I couldn't have wished for more. So very, if I say talented, I do not even rate him high enough, because he's more than that already. He's been a head coach himself, but he's still young, but grew into our staff from the start in a very good manner. So has the same idea about football. That's also why I chose him to come to us as well. But the way he's with the boys, just like Sipke, is very positive. We do almost all the things we do together, like in every other staff. I think it's like this, but that's definitely the way it is over here as well. They get a lot of time to work with the players in the individual way, but also lead part of sessions. Have the same idea about football as I do. So yes, I will be involved tomorrow, but if I wouldn't be, that would not be a problem at all for the players. They would not notice anything different then, I think. And then we're talking about the technical staff, but I think we've all seen how much of a compliment our performance staff and medical staff should have. If you look at how players come back, like Alisson, like Jota now 2 days ago. But also that we can be with 10 and our opponent can say it felt like they had 11. That probably tells you a lot about our performance staff and about the players, but I have given them enough compliments, so let's stay with the performance staff and the medical staff and my backroom staff for now.
Just one on the suspension. Do you think you need to change anything in the way that you behaving on the touchline, or is it just unusual? Have you thought about that at all?
Nah, you always reflect, but I think in general I'm calm. But if I don't know if it's smart to say this, but if so, there's also a limit for me. Let's put it that way, and then I can get emotional, and that unfortunately that limit is earlier reached by referee decision than the decision my players make, because they make more good decisions than the referees do. In my opinion, for my team. No. The Chelsea game was emotional. We should have had a second penalty, but the VAR changed it. This game, I think there were a lot of controversial decisions being made, and if you're then down to 10, that comes even that works out even harder, or how should I say this? So yeah, like I said, Chelsea game and this game was emotional, and maybe I should stay just underneath instead of going above. Yeah, it is what it is. I think I have 3 options to go now again, don't I? I go. Is it again 3 before I start?
Kingsley, you have 3.
Yeah, okay.
Funny enough, on that topic, Arne, I just wanted to say, because obviously we're very used to what Jurgen Klopp was like on the touchline. You're not like Jurgen Klopp on the touchline, but does this show you've still got that, what we say, fire in the belly? You still have that passion?
Yeah, I don't always think you have to show it to have that fire. I think it's clear that if you work in a club like this or around the world at a top club, you do have this fire inside you of that you want to win every game, and you try to influence as much as you can. And the mistake I make I've made 2 times already here and 1 or 2 times in Holland, that sometimes you think that creating an atmosphere that the whole world is against you can lead to some positive decisions in the end of the game. But here till now, as well as in the Chelsea game, as in this game, for the whole 90 minutes, it stayed the same. So it didn't change. It wasn't like after I was trying to influence a bit that the referee then all of a sudden gave us 1 or 2 free kicks. No, he just kept for the whole game the same. So I know that it doesn't work, but yeah, sometimes you feel, can I influence that a bit? But it didn't help at all.
Well, last one.
Arne, if Tsimikas isn't fit tomorrow, you only have 4 defenders with Andy Robertson suspenders. Are players like Amara now or James Norris even, would they be ready to step up and play? And what have you made of the young players' developments during your time at the club?
That's very positive. You talk about these 2 now, but I think we have a few others that have made a good impact in our training sessions till now. We've also used them, like Trey has been used already in the League Cup. I'm aware of the fact that we have only 4 defenders available, and probably the ones that have started a lot of times will not play 90 minutes for sure, and maybe not even at all. So it's going to be either academy players that are going to play get playing time, or it's going to be players that nobody would expect to see in the last line that are going to play in the last line tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.